Her heart beats in realms you cannot see. These fleshy, fragile suits are but vessels. You can't box up the sun or hold the Milky Way hostage, can't capture the wind, chain something as elusive as sound. Her name is written in the ridges of your palm, hidden beneath your first waking breath. She is in the sky, in sunsets, golden violets and blues, in the clouds, in the waves. Her name is written there, too. Her womb, the cradle of civilization, Akashic records trace it back. Everyone is Black. Do you not hear the wind testify? We made you possible. And what have you become? What have you done? Strayed so far from your own humanity, you can't see ours. What God do you pray to? What laws do you live by? Are you not ashamed to breathe, having stolen so much breath, karmic debt, almost beyond repair? Who dares such barbarity? Violence as generational practice, as tradition, such sins are cancerous to the collective soul, and we are all connected to the whole. You violate the most sacred, carriers of light, divine feminine. We are the moon, we are life. What upside down world did you create to take the sanctity of our bodies and make it a thing? The blessing of our skin and make it wrong, when all along we are built by divine design. You are haunted by your own doing. Some sick sibling rivalry, you hate us but wanna be us. No booty lift, lip injection, tanning salon can give you soul. No redemption, no ascension can be bought with silver or gold. Just say her name. The constellations spell it out. Say her name. That's your passport to freedom, your only route. Repent, confess, stole our bodies, our culture, the shoulders we stand on, but the ancestor spirits are not for sale. Our regality and resilience are not for your taking. Every peak and valley, her name is shaking. It echoes out from that core. She is both after and before the very earth you walk on. The air in your lungs, the rhythm of your breath. Say her name. That's all that will be left when you are called to judgment, stripped to ash and bone. Say her name. That's your only way home.
Thank you, Gina, for your beautiful performance of that piece. For those who don't know Gina Loring, she is a talented poet, vocalist, and professor. She has been a longtime supporter of the Say Her Name campaign, adding her artistry and advocacy to our fight for justice for Black women, including this year when she created a piece for our Say Her Name Chime for Change zine. Gina, thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome everyone to the African American Policy Forum's Say Her Name 6th anniversary, an evening of remembrance. I am your MC for the evening, Awoye Timpo. Tonight we honor the lives of Black women, girls, and femmes across our country killed by police and state-sanctioned violence. Together, we will hear from mothers and families living in the wake of that violence. They will guide us as we seek to honor the memories of their daughters and direct us as we contemplate what's next in the fight for justice for all Black women, girls, and femmes. Toward the end of the evening, we will be performing a ritual of remembrance together. If you would like to perform your own ritual from home, you will need a glass of water and a small towel or a bowl or a plant. We would also like you to grab a pen and paper and write the name of a Black woman, girl, or femme killed by police. We'll give you some time later to gather what you need. Now we will have a short video about the Say Her Name campaign.
There is growing outrage tonight after an unarmed African-American teenager was shot and killed by police in the city.
Shelly Frye. Police violence against Black women is very real. Why is it that their lost lives don't generate the same amount of media attention and communal outcry as the lost lives of their fallen brothers? These women's names have slipped through our consciousness because there are no frames for us to see them, no frames for us to remember them, no frames for us to hold them. We have to be willing to bear witness to the often painful realities that we would just rather not confront, the everyday violence and humiliation that many Black women have had to face.
We have a voice, and we need to come together as sisters and unite, and we fight. Fight!
And now we will have an introduction from AAPF's own Executive Director, Kimberly Crenshaw.
Thank you, Owoye, and thank you to everyone for joining us in this very special evening of remembrance and rededication. First, I'm honored and deeply moved to be in the presence of Melania Brown, sister of Laline Polanco, Deborah Shirley, mother of Michelle Shirley, Katrina Johnson, cousin of Charlena Lyles, Ashley Carr, sister of Tatiana Jefferson, Yolanda McNair, mother of Aduisha Miller, and Valerie Carey, sister of Miriam Carey. And of course, a special thank you to our mothers, our core group, Gina Best, mother of India Kager, Sharon Wilkerson, mother of Shelly Frye, Rhonda Dormius, mother of Corinne Gaines, Fran Garrett, mother of Michelle Cousseau, and Maria Moore, sister of Kayla Moore, for co-hosting this very special evening with us tonight. 6 years ago, we began Say Her Name as a simple act of just bearing witness to the fact that Black women are also killed by the police. These are women like Michelle Cousseau, who was killed just 5 days before Michael Brown, and Tanisha Anderson, who was killed in Cleveland just 9 days before the young Tamir Rice was killed. Say Her Name is grounded in the belief that while Black women's names are not on our tongues, they aren't the names that we often call out in our rallies, in our marches, in the ways we insist on justice. The fact remains, though, that their mothers don't grieve any less for them. Their children don't miss them any less. And we should not protest their killings any less than we protest the killings of our Black brothers, fathers, sons. Historically, Black women and girls and femmes have not fit the most accessible frames for thinking about and lifting up anti-Black police violence. Their own particular precarity is buried. It's buried underneath myths and stereotypes and really denial about their very existence and the violence of being a Black body in this country has entailed. The heartbreaking truth of the matter is that Black girls as young as 7 and women as old as 93 have been killed by the police. They've been shot, they've been beaten, they've been tasered to death for driving while Black, having a mental health crisis while Black, being homeless while Black, sleeping in their own beds while Black. They've been killed when they don't conform to gender stereotypes. They've been executed when their very existence strikes fear in the hearts of police officers. Many times they're killed for simply being while Black. To prevent this tragic drumbeat from echoing far into the future, we need to start by making sure that our names, our sisters' names, our daughters' names, our siblings' names are spoken, that their stories get told, that witnesses will carry those stories across time and space to inform, to galvanize, to insist, and to demand. Beyond the imperatives of saying her name is our mission of embracing mothers and sisters who've experienced the unimaginable loss of their loved ones. For 6 years now, we've been honored to hold space for the families of these Black women. This sisterhood is not only a space for recognition and mutuality, but also a community with the ability to hold each other as they walk the path of grief and light, of remembrance and hope. Say Her Name begins by recognizing state violence against Black women, but from there, it acknowledges that while police bullets might take the lives of these Black women, the lethal consequences are far broader than that. Vicky Mcadore is one of the women who, although is not counted among the deaths caused by police officers, we firmly believe is a victim of their lethality. Vicky, we call her the Auntie Mama of India Beatty, died just 1 year after India was killed by police in Norfolk, Virginia. Hours before Vicky passed, she spoke to me and my sister Lisa on the phone about the need for Say Her Name to continue against the face of complacency and silence. She foreshadowed her own untimely passing, speaking to the stress and the mourning and the consequences of losing a loved one to police violence, and then losing the loss of that loss. Vicky's life was defined by courage, resilience, and devotion to this struggle. I will continue to live with Vicky's words in mind. She said, "My biggest fear would be not to march. My fear would be realizing that I didn't put my all into something that's right, something that we were born into a right of having. How could I not? How could I not?" So we want to offer up this moment as a tribute to our dear sister, Vicky Mcadore.
For so long, we as women were not allowed to have anything to do with battle, protecting our communities, protecting our country. We didn't have a voice. I refuse. I refuse as a woman. I refuse as a Black woman. I refuse as a human to shut up any longer. I'm not just a soldier for India Beatty. I'm a soldier for every one of our children that have been unjustifiably taken away from us. And I will stand up if it means my death. I will not stop speaking out until I have no voice. And being a soldier for a cause that I know is needed and that can be accomplished if enough voices stand up and speak out, that's everything to me. Because even in death, going to that march and walking with all my sisters, thousands and thousands of my sisters, even in death, I will be a part of history.
I'd like to bring in Sharon Wilkerson, a sister of Vicky Mcadore. Sharon has been with us from the beginning. Sharon's daughter, Shelly Frye, was killed in 2012 by Lewis Campbell, an off-duty sheriff and a Houston area minister. Campbell shot and killed Shelly in an attempt to apprehend a friend of hers whom he suspected of shoplifting in the Walnut Mart store. Since Shelly's death, Sharon has been raising Shelly's two children, her two daughters, while also seeking justice on behalf of her daughter. First, I want to thank you, Sharon, for bringing greetings from the Mothers Network. And we also wanted to use this opportunity to bring in the full range of emotions and connections that the mothers have with each other, and in particular, bringing Vicky into the middle of our conversation. As we saw and heard, Vicky was a fierce advocate for social justice, and she was also just a fierce human being. She was a force of nature in our group. So I wanted to give you the opportunity on behalf of the mothers to bring a recollection of Vicky into our moment of remembrance and help us hear in all of your voices on behalf of Vicky and everyone, what justice means for you and the other mothers of Say Her Name. Sharon?
First of all, I cannot speak without acknowledging Vicky. Vicky was one of our sisters, one of our strong sisters. We lost a soldier. This is like an army for us. And when we get together, we're getting together to lift up each other. We love on each other. We laugh with each other. We cry with each other because each one of us has the same pain. Each one of us is going through the same thing. Each one of us is fighting for our children. We are not giving up. We are not meant to give up because we have to look at, we are raising our children's children now. And when we see them, we see our children in them. So we can't give up the fight. We have to continue to fight. When we get together, I'll tell you, I just love it because in the natural, I don't have any sisters. But in the spiritual realm, I have sisters, and those are my sisters. So when we do get together, we have a good time, we laugh, we dance. I know people might say, well, you're not supposed to be having fun and you're not supposed to be happy. That's not true. We need each other. You know what's so hard right now is I can't touch my sisters. I can't hug my sisters. We cannot show love to each other. And that really hurts because by now we would have gotten together either 3 or 4 times already. But one thing we do know, we have each other's back. We love each other when we love each other hard because we're all in the same boat. None of us is different. Each one of us has lost someone close, dear to us. And Vicky was the life of the party. Whenever we would get together, it would be a party. We went on a we went to the summer camp, and Vicky, I, and Maria shared a room together. So in the midst of that, sharing a room, I went and took a nap. Vicky and Maria took an Uber and we got some liquor. So when they came back, we started drinking. So it wasn't just summer camp, it was a party for us too, because we don't get to do that together. And when we get together, this is what happens. We bring out the best in each one of us and let us know that, you know, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to cry. If we need to cry, we're going to cry together. December 6th marked 8 years that my baby has been gone. And it is so hard because it's the holidays. Then I have her girls looking at me, you know, okay, Mama, what are we going to do? You know, and that is hard when you're stepping in and trying to do your best for them. And at the same time, you have your own health issues, your own problems. You know, it's we can't break down like we really want to break down. But when I get with my sisters, I can break down, I can let loose, and I know that they're going to have my back and that they are there for us. And that's what I miss so much, the love that we have when we get together. AAFP has been a blessing to each one of us, whatever we may need, wherever we're at. If we just need a phone call, they are there for us. And I, from the bottom of my heart and their heart, I know we would all be on the same page saying we love AAFP. If it wasn't for Dr. Crenshaw, I don't know where we would be today. And I thank God that he used her to open up the doors for mothers who have lost their daughters to police violence. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the staff enough for showing up and doing what you need to do to help us. I love you. We love you. And it's it's so overwhelming right now. I mean, it's beautiful. You know, we know we're not together, but we're here in the spirit. We're here on Zoom. We're here to share our stories with the others and let them know this is something you might want to be a part of, because there's a blessing in it. It's a blessing in this, because we're here to fight. We have to fight for our children. We cannot let these bastards get away with what they did to our daughters. We have to fight. We have to come together and do what we need to do for our daughters, because they didn't just shoot them, they took them from us. They took their lives. They took our babies. And it's so unfair, because they get to go home to their children, and we have to go home and pick up the pieces and take care of our grandkids. And it hurts. It hurts deep. And I really wish he could feel what I feel. I want him to feel the pain. Yes, it's been 8 years, but it felt like it was just yesterday that this happened. It hurts. We need justice. We need to fight for our children. We can't throw in the towel. We can't. Quit is not an option. We can't quit. We gotta continue to fight. Vicky will want us to fight. We have to fight. Come on board with us and help fight. We will help you fight for your daughter just like we fight for ours. And I just want to welcome you to come in and join the network of Say Her Name Mothers.
Thank you so, so much, Mother Sharon. We speak Shelly's name and are with you in this moment. Next, we're going to hear from AAPF's Chief of Staff, Shermina Nelson. And Shermina will be sharing the highlights from this year's Say Her Name campaign efforts.
Thank you, Awoye, and thank you, Mother Sharon. Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Shermina M. Nelson, and I currently serve as the Chief of Staff and Director of Programs and Community Engagement for the African American Policy Forum. It is an honor to share this space with you all tonight as we uplift the names of those who we physically lost and amplify the powerful work of the Say Her Name campaign and the Mothers Network. 2020 has been a difficult year. I think that's an understatement. But we have gained real ground in furthering the Say Her Name rallying cry. We fostered a partnership with the players of the WNBA, whose activism inspired athletes across the country, including the Players Coalition, through which the New Orleans Saints also dedicated their season to Say Her Name. We want this campaign to change the narrative about how police brutality and state-sanctioned violence impacts Black women. We've seen that narrative shift as media outlets from the Washington Post to the BCC have taken up the names and stories of the women represented in this network. Gucci Chime for Change partnered with us on a special edition, Say Her Name zine. And just a few weeks ago, over 140 artists from across the country and the world decided to use their platforms to amplify the work of the Say Her Name campaign through the Show Me the Signs exhibit, with 100% of the proceeds going to the Say Her Name campaign. As I reflect on all of these things, one of the most powerful things about these actions are that many of these people came to us. We did not seek them. You know, we're in a moment where people, you, are fighting for change. And we don't want this moment to fade. We must keep the drum beating loudly. We must continue the fight. This campaign is so much more than a hashtag to me, to AAPF, to our Mothers Network. So if you're at home and you're feeling like you want to be a part, but you don't know what to do, please know that you can be a part of this fight. There's room for everyone. Something as simple as posting a story, posting a name, hosting a conversation with your colleagues and friends. These actions, big and small, are ones that each of us can take to ensure that Black women, girls, and femmes are protected and seen. We want more ambassadors. We want more Say Her Name champions. If the experience tonight moves you, if you're touched, I'm asking you, my request is that you touch back. Here's a short video highlighting the victories we've seen in 2020, and we hope that you'll join us as we move forward.
Mainstream media cannot be the narrators of our stories, because if we leave it to them, they will villainize, they make up stuff, oh my goodness, you couldn't even imagine the things that they will say about our children.
The district attorney referred to Sandy as not a model citizen, and it stings so very badly when you hear your loved ones being discussed in that way.
But also they're ignored and erased where women have no place, not in life nor in death.
We bear witness to their and their families' losses. We bear witness to their stories. We mind the possibilities and conditions that led to their tragedy. We examine the possible policy changes that could have made a difference. Say her name.
And send infinite love to these extraordinary mothers and sisters. We also hold on to our dreams of freedom.
Let us march on. Let us say her name.
If we say the names of Black women who are killed by the police, we expand our understanding of all of the circumstances under which Black lives are put at risk. We think it's men, we think it happens in public space when there's an encounter, and then it escalates into a homicide. When the facts don't fit the frames, people forget the facts.
I want the world to know she was killed, she was murdered by the hands of the police, and this is how and why.
If it hadn't been my daughter, would I give it this much fight, this much thought? Of course not. It has to take something to wake you up.
We are dedicating this season to Say Her Name campaign.
I'm gonna do an Instagram Live with Kimberly Crenshaw. She started the African American Policy Forum, and basically they're the people who invented the Say Her Name campaign.
They needed to hear our story. We have a voice now. We're gonna break the silence and we're gonna talk about it. Breaking the silence helped me too.
You had the beauty of who her personality was and then the reality of how she died. And it humanized her.
I will not give an interview until I put that out there to the reporter. Be like, this is what I want to see in this article.
More than 100 artists have created powerful pieces that are up for auction, and 100% of the proceeds go to the African American Policy Forum's Say Her Name Mothers Network.
With Show Me the Signs, they came to us because they had a way to help the campaign.
They call themselves a sorority of sorrow. They say this is the sisterhood no one wants to join, but once you do join it, this is a home for you.
We would not be together as sisters right now, even on this call, if it weren't for Say Her Name. If it weren't for having a place where we can come be together.
Thank you, Shermina. One of the many goals of the Say Her Name campaign is to advance a gender-inclusive narrative in the movement for Black lives and to ultimately facilitate an end to police violence and gender violence against Black women. And yet, just this year, more mothers and sisters were added to this sisterhood of sorrow as they've lost their daughters and loved ones to state-sanctioned violence. Next, we'll hear from Rhonda Dormis, whose daughter Corinne Gaines was shot and killed by Baltimore police in 2016. Rhonda will bring a welcome to new mothers and families.
Good evening. My name is Rhonda Dormis, and I'm the mother of Corinne Gaines. Corinne was killed August 1st, 2016 by Baltimore County Police Officer, SWAT officer, Royce Ruby. Ruby also shot my 5-year-old grandson, Cody, who was also with his mother.
Mothers and sisters, it saddens me that we have to meet under these circumstances. I wish we could meet in better times, in a better place, and I wish we could have met your beautiful daughters. In the times that we're in, this pandemic, I am so sorry that we cannot hold you close. But we see you, even from far away. We are with you. We know that this moment is deep. It's life altering, it's shattering. I hope that when you're ready, this Mothers Network can help you and give you enough fuel to get you through the day. We will also bear witness to you and your family's loss. We will listen to your stories. My sister Gina Best brought me into the arms of the Say Her Name Mothers Network in 2016, alongside my sister Vicky Mcadore. My sister, how she's missed. It was a time when saying Corinne's name was too painful, but the Mothers Network brought us together to help me, all of us, through the grieving process. The Mothers Network introduced us to the fight we're in now. It afforded us the bullhorn and encouraged us that we can say our daughters' names. Believe me, we are fierce, but in 2016, we were too stuck in grief. This network reminded us that we knew how to fight. In a room, oh, sorry. Lord have mercy. I apologize. Over the 4 years that I've been involved with the Say Her Name Moms, the African American Policy Forum has afforded me the opportunity to reach out to other mothers, new mothers who have found themselves walking this path. They were us and we were them. Together, we became family and a sisterhood of sorrow. The truth is, everyone processes with grief is so different. It's a long and bumpy ride. But if this journey is like being in a car, the Mothers Network is like a seatbelt, holding us close, keeping us safe. In fact, the Mothers Network is like the whole car, carrying us through the sunny days, the rainy days, and the lights on the car guiding our path forward. The music in the car lifting our spirits on the more difficult days. We need this car. We need our Mothers Network. We need people that are like-minded, understanding. It lifts the weight to have people around us that understand what we're feeling. We have to give each other emotional support and respite from everyday life around people and places that don't understand the grief of a mother or a sister who has lost a loved one. This 6th anniversary that our sisterhood is still alive, means that this sisterhood is still alive. We are here for you. We will support you. We welcome you into our sisterhood. Sometimes in a room full of people, it is easy to feel alone, but the Mothers Network reminds us that we have each other. We need each other. We need emotional companionship with each other. We share space. Anyone outside of this would never understand. There are so many memories that I have with our mothers and sisters. I could talk your ears off. I remember there was a night where we were at Kim's house and we had gotten news from another mother's case, Tanisha Anderson's case, that they weren't going to do anything further with it. Her mother, Cassandra, was almost catatonic when she came to visit us. She wouldn't speak. She sat looking and staring. We were able to get her to eat, but outside of that, she would not correspond with us. But then the drumming began, and we were around her, and we rallied with her. We knew that we could not send her home the same way that she came to us. We were so afraid for her because she had had a stroke previously. With that previous stroke came the heartbreaking news that her daughter's case wouldn't be handled properly or the way she saw fit. So again, we started the drumming, and we had a breakthrough that evening. We had presumed that it was a real comeback for Cassandra because when she left, we had her laughing and goofing off. I spoke to her before she had her last stroke, which was shortly after she left us, and she was still profoundly hurt by the nothingness of things not being done in our cases. There was so much light with her when she left, but the light dimmed after she got home. Cassandra suffered another stroke, and unfortunately, she is not doing well. This Mother Network takes care of us. We take care of each other. In the face of all those difficult painful moments, we join together to say her name. We hope you join us too. We will share a video about a new play from the AAPF and Say Her New Name movement, The Lives That Should Have Been. The play written by Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, G. Ra Assem, and Julia Shop Levine in 2019. It is based on the 5 years of interviews with myself and some of the women in our network. The plot entangles the stories with those of our murdered daughters and the sisters to weave a tapestry of intergenerational loss, grief, resistance, and rebirth.
There's an invisible string connecting a mother to her child. When that string breaks, everything comes undone.
Well, for me, the whole play was just remarkable.
The actors that was acting us, Gina was leading us, and we getting all, they acted just like we act.
Knowing that our daughters are also getting a voice through another vessel, that was priceless.
The lives that should have been, we'll never get to see, but it was good to see the dream.
They saw them as human beings, not just a person, a number, or Jane Doe shot and killed.
It almost solidifies their existence, their humanization.
You have people who are on a stage who are showing that they meant enough, our daughters meant enough, for them not only to learn lines, but to also try to embody their essence. Where then out in the world, they didn't even mean enough to mention or even say their names.
The possibility of what their lives could have been, that was the most impactful part, because you get to relate to the person instead of the news story.
It just gets the story out without forcing us to, if you want to call it, relive it over and over again. It's just super important to allow the world to know what our lives are like and what our daughters' lives could have been.
This is not the narrative that anyone else can tell except for the family and for the mothers.
What I've heard, there wasn't a dry eye there, so they felt our pain.
When you say murder, people just assume the worst in a person that was murdered. If you sit there long enough and think about it, you'll realize that it can happen to you.
Just try to say, wait a minute. That could have been my daughter fixing her door. That could have been my baby fixing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a cop shoots through. My daughter leaving Walmart and a cop shoots her.
What stood out to me the most, that they was all friends. It made me feel like, you know what? She not up there in heaven by herself. She got a road dog with her. They rolling up there.
I could see it, I could feel it. And to know that she was still here with me.
And then I'm thinking about what all they gonna do Lewis Campbell when he get up there. Because when the lady got up there, they gonna kick him out of heaven and kick him to hell. And I was like, yes.
Now they know that these are things that we can't do on our own, that we need their help. We need the audience help in making things happen, in moving forward.
Standing there and embracing the young lady who acted as India, for a moment I imagined I was able to embrace my daughter again. That was very profound.
That's a feeling I can't express, but I felt the same.
Yeah.
Just to embrace that child.
Yeah.
You know?
We had a chance to hold our babies again, physically like that, for all the world to see while they say their names. And that was,
If you don't get this show on Broadway, you better let us know.
Thank you so much, Mother Rhonda. We speak Corinne's name. We recognize the very special role that you and all the women of the Mothers Network play in being your sister's keeper. Next, we will be performing a ritual to honor the names of Black women, girls, and femmes. If you're joining from home, you'll need a glass of water and a small towel or a bowl or a plant. We'll give you a minute to grab what you need. And if you haven't already, we'll also give you a minute to write down the name of a Black woman, girl, or femme killed by the police. Again, a glass of water, small towel or bowl, or a plant, and something to write the name of a Black woman killed by the police. And now, a selection by Abby Dobson. Abby is the AAPF artist in residence. She is a sonic conceptual artist. Her sound is the alchemy of R&B, soul, jazz, classic pop, gospel, folk, and she forges a gem that erases musical boundaries. Abby, thank you so much for lending your voice to the Say Her Name campaign.
I am my sister's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I'm gonna say her name. I am my sister's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I'm gonna say her name. I am my sister's keeper. I'm gonna say her name. I am my sister's keeper. I'm gonna say her name. I'm gonna say her name. I'm going to say her name.
Thank you so much, Abby. So as a central part of the mission of AAPF, we perform rituals. Rituals of remembrance, rituals of storytelling, rituals of affirmation. Rituals are a means of uniting people. They remind us what has transpired and also what connects us. They reaffirm our faith. They energize movements and unite us in common purpose. To commemorate this anniversary, we will all participate in a ritual of remembrance to take this moment to remind ourselves of why we do this work, to remember what has transpired so we can prepare for the road ahead. We will invite the element of water into the space and pour a libation. A libation is a ritual pouring of a liquid as an offering to a god or a spirit, or in memory of those who are no longer with us. Pouring libation is practiced in numerous cultures and traditions around the world. We offer libation for those who are connected to us physically or spiritually, to the energies of the universe, and to those who came before. We choose water for our libation because it has no enemy. It cannot be overcome. This water is for rejuvenation and to offer a blessing. Say Her Name is about ritual. So before we begin our collective ritual, I would like to invite 3 of the mothers to share their personal rituals. And I'm going to start with you, Maria. Hello.
Oh, hi
So
there.
good to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be here. So what I started doing when Kayla was killed was sort of, it was very therapeutic for me to do what's called a vision board. And I started off doing one, and it wasn't enough. So I ended up doing 3 or 4, and they were all centered around Kayla. And I had this table as well that I had, pictures, and it was kind of just something to memorialize her and in my space. And you know, it's just, and I just kind of added onto it over the years, and it's grown a little bit, but that just kept me so connected to her. And it was, like I said, it was therapeutic because I was able to, there it is. And that's just a few of the things that were on there. But you know, it shows Kayla in the center, her family around her, things that I felt that were important when we're looking for justice for our loved one, and just kind of showing the best of Kayla and her poetry and everything that she loved to do, which was cooking and sharing her food with her roommates and her friends and her neighbors. So this was, like I said, a project of love that just kind of organically came to me at one point. And like I said, I just keep building on top of it, and it's what keeps me connected to her.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so beautiful. It has so much character. We can feel her presence through that. So thank you so much for sharing. I want to move to Mother Fran, who's the mother of Michelle Cousseau. Mother Fran, how about for you? Have you created any rituals? How do they serve you?
Well, it gets me through the day. The pictures here, I have pictures of Michelle throughout the house, just to feel her presence and knowing that she is still here with me. Recently, I have dedicated my own private space, and with that, my own private sacred space with Michelle. And it's something that allows me, well, in this space, I have created pictures of Michelle throughout her life, her happiness. It's a collection, I made a collage, and it's to show the smiles, the things that she did and created throughout life. Michelle loved her family. She was a very special person, very well loved by her family. She was a giver, and this keeps me focused and on point about Michelle and her life. With this ritual, I have created and included in there the 4 elements, which is water and fire, earth, wood for earth, and included in that is spirits. And the spirits are from her ancestors, from her grandparents, and other family members throughout. And when I wake up each morning, I'm able to look out at this and see what God has created, how he has created this earth. I see water, trees, and all. I'm truly blessed to be able to do that. But last but not least, first of all, I also see my daughter and the smiles on her face. And this gets me going. She and I talk. I thank God, first of all, for allowing me to wake up to this and giving me another day. And I see the smile on Michelle's face, and it keeps me moving in a positive direction. It's just something that I need and to stay focused on, and to know that the things that are going on now in my life, these are things that she would want me to do and to share. Like I said, she keeps me grounded and in a positive space to move forward and to help other mothers. And I am so blessed and appreciative to have this organization that I am a part of, the Mothers Here, and also African American Policy Forum. And thank you so much, Kim, and all the rest of staff and volunteers and the mothers in our Mothers Network. I appreciate you all, and I love you. I love you. So let's keep it together, keep moving forward, and pave the road for others. It's not that we want any more mothers to become a part of this, because then with that, that lets us know that another mother has lost a child. But I wish for us to continue to pave the way and make it a lot easier and let them know that they're not alone. They have us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fran. That's so, so beautiful. And you know that the AAPS staff is here with you and everyone is sending so much love to you today. So thank you so much for sharing your ritual, sharing your collage with us. It's really so spectacular and so beautiful. And I would love to move also to Gina, who is the mother of India Kager. Gina, what do you do to honor your loved one?
Several things. As all of my mother's sisters and any other mothers who have joined us and fathers know, that when you have a loved one who has been stolen from you, we want to gather their essence. We want to gather everything around us to help us cope with the daily grief that's inescapable. So through my journey, I've seen it that the rituals have actually, and I like to use the phrase, but the habits and the things have changed and evolved through the years. So I started first by collecting India's baby things, and I didn't share that, but I wanted to go from her being a little girl, the photos of her art, because India was an artist. And so I gathered those things that I still had, and I brought them close to me in the space. So where I live, that's my Indian, and Summer, her little sister, is that through the journey and having to move and having to adjust my living situation, I made sure that I kept things that were very, very sentimental, and that whenever the grief starts to hit, that I can change that by visually. Like India loved the Ankh, which is the sign of eternal life. She loved crystals, which I love as well. So what you're seeing here that's right next to my bed. I have the salt lamp, and then the picture that I did, there's another mother, Marion Gray Thomas, with her son, and then they had a mother's art thing together, and I did that. And what you see there is two visuals by an artist by the name of Courtney Alexander. And one picture there says justice, and the other one says strength. So in there, the candles, I keep the candles, the light around me. You see the fist for the fighting. That's my dining room table, which I don't eat on, but all around my little apartment, my little living space, I have special visual points that mean the world to me. It helps me. Like Mother Fran said, incorporate the 4 elements, this actually 5: spirit, earth, air, fire, and water. And that is how I deal with the grief, how I'm able to use the water of the bath. And right there, you'll see that's my chair. I'm sitting in the chair now, but that usually will turn off the lights. And then you see the praying angel there behind another light, and again, the candle there. And then on the right side is the remembrance of the ancestors. So what you see there are 2 tree of life, the tree of life, and then the cowrie shells, which means a lot. So in my practice of ancestor veneration, that helps to bring in all of our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, our foremothers, our fathers who have been stolen from us. On that second shelf, there is an Ankh, and then there are also crystals there, and with the pyramid as well. And so this helps for me to deal with the grief. And when I'm in the tears, which is every day, I think every mother, and I know every mother can attest to that, we don't move forward. It's hard to move forward without trying to ascend above. So when you have something tangible in your environment that you can look at, that you can touch, and that you can close your eyes, which I do with India in her boys, her little towel that she had, little picture, a shirt that she had when she was a little girl. And this is my Indy. I don't know if you all, they shared that, but that's what helps me. When I light the incense, it engages my senses. And then I sit in this chair that I'm in now, and then I do the prayers, my invocations, my calls, and when I don't want to talk to anyone, I know that I can call on the mothers, I call on the ancestors, I lift up the prayers to help me so that I can see clear. And what you're seeing there, this was intentional. Thank you for including that. I hold that in space for those are thrones. They symbolize thrones. So I envision my father on one and India on the other. And what you're seeing there in the middle, I call that my ancestral bowl with the branches reaching forward, and it's being held the obsidian sphere to symbolize the universe that we're all a part of, and then also the ancestral bowl. So it helps me to center myself and ground myself because I'm in a constant state of rage. There's that undercurrent of rage of the injustice that was done to our daughters, and that we still, no matter what, are forced here on this realm to live through. So it's one of many ways. I do sit in those chairs. India sat in one, my father sat on one when they were here on this realm with us. And therefore I kept them to, I said I was gonna do this. It helps me. It helps me. We go through moments where we don't have anyone else we can talk to. So in those moments of solitude and quiet, I realize that they're still with me, no matter what, and encouraged to fight, to stand, and to maintain some balance between this realm and where they are.
Beautiful. Thank you so much to Gina, to Maria, to Mother Fran. I know you all have rituals and altars, both big and small, throughout your homes, which is so lovely, and that you also have ways that you involve other family members and friends inside of your ritual. So we just are very grateful to the three of you for sharing your rituals with us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And now, the voice of Abby Dobson will lead us into our collective ritual. So everyone, please join us in a collective breath as we join our energies in this present moment. No matter where we are in the world, we are united by the energy of this moment. As we inhale, we will rejuvenate our spirits and connect to a spirit of love, possibility, and power. And as we exhale, we will release all of our challenges and our fears. So everyone, if you would, please place your feet firmly on the ground. And let's breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. For those who are able, you are welcome to join us in this ritual by standing, or if you prefer to remain seated, that is also fine, whatever is most comfortable for you. And if you're using a towel, please place it on the floor beside you. Otherwise, please grab your bowl or your plant and a glass of water. Please join us as we offer a libation in honor of the lives we've lost and in acknowledgement of the work that lies ahead. As we perform this ritual, we remember all the ancestors who we've lost. There's an Akan saying When we call one ancestor's name, we are calling and begging all to come. So each time I say her name, please repeat after me and pour a small amount of water into a plant, a bowl, or onto the floor. For the lives that could have been, say her name. For the work that lies ahead, say her name. For the commitment to fight for justice, say her name. For the women who paved the way, say her name. For the mothers in mourning, say her name. For the power of community and the ability to manifest our dreams, say her name. For the right to live, say her name. If you are able, please stay standing. Otherwise, please have a seat and make yourself comfortable. Abby is going to lead us as we say her name. We will also be joined by some special guests and some AAPF staff members, including Shermina Nelson, Mia Lundquist, Janelle Monet, Emmett O'Malley, Judith Williams, Abigail Disney, Ann Thomas, Marlon Peterson, Jamila Lemieux, Kristen West Savali, Dorcas Parham, Ennis Quarles, Michelle Kidd, Lee, Darcy Siegel, Bethany Donovan, Alicia Clark, Priscilla Osen, Devin Carvado, Luke Harris, and Cindy Colson. Thank you all for joining us as we say these names. We are going to say these names out loud. We want this to be so cacophonous and we want it to be so loud that they know that we are here with them. We want their spirits to be here with us. Eleanor Bumpers.
Say her name.
Eleanor Bumpers.
Eleanor Bumpers.
Say her name.
Eleanor Bumpers.
Bumpers.
Her name.
Angie Taylor.
Say her name.
Angie Taylor.
Say her name.
Angie Taylor.
Frankie Ann Perkins.
Say her name.
Frankie Ann Perkins.
Say her name.
Frankie Ann Perkins.
Say her name.
Daniels.
Say her name.
Daniels.
Say her name.
Aisha Miller.
Say her name.
Aisha Miller.
Margaret Mitchell.
Say her name.
Margaret Mitchell.
Say her name.
Margaret Mitchell.
Latanya Haggerty.
Say her name.
Latanya Haggerty.
Say her name.
Latanya Haggerty.
Liza Morris.
Say her name.
Liza
Morris.
Say her name.
Liza Morris.
Andra James.
Say her name.
Kendra James.
Say her name.
Kendra James.
Alberta Pula.
Say her name.
Alberta Spruill.
Say her name.
Alberta Spruill.
Catherine Johnston.
Say her name.
Catherine Johnson.
Say her name.
Catherine Johnson.
Tarika Wilson.
Say her name.
Tarika Wilson.
Say her name.
Tarika Wilson.
Dewana Johnson.
Say her name.
Dewana Johnson.
Say her name.
Dewana Johnson.
Aja Dixon.
Say her name.
Aja
Dixon.
Say her name.
Dixon.
Ayana Stanley Jones.
Say her name.
Ayana Stanley Jones.
Say her name.
Ayana Stanley Jones.
Sharice Francis.
Say her name.
Sharice Francis.
Say her name.
Sharice
Francis.
Rakia Boyd.
Say her name.
Rakia Boyd.
Say her name.
Rakia Boyd.
Charmel Edwards.
Say her name.
Charmel Edwards.
Say her name.
Charmel Edwards.
Chantel Davis.
Say her name.
Chantel Davis.
Say her name.
Chantel Davis.
Adaisha Miller.
Say her name.
Adaisha Miller.
Say her name.
Adaisha Miller.
Alicia Thomas.
Say her name.
Alicia Thomas.
Say her name.
Alicia Thomas.
Alyssa Williams.
Say her name.
Melissa Williams.
Say her name.
Williams.
Shelly Frye.
Say her name.
Shelly Frye.
Shelly.
Say her name.
Shelly Frye.
Kayla Moore.
Say her name.
Kayla Moore.
Say her name.
Kayla Moore.
Kyam Livingston.
Say her name.
Kyam Livingston.
Say her name.
Kyam Livingston.
Miriam Carey.
Say her name.
Miriam Carey.
Say her name.
Miriam Carey.
Yvette Smith.
Say her name.
Yvette Smith.
Say her name.
Yvette Smith.
Gabriela Navarez.
Say her name.
Gabriela Navarez.
Say her name.
Gabriela
Navarez.
Yvette Henderson.
Say her name.
Yvette Henderson.
Pearlie Golden.
Say her name.
Pearlie Golden.
Say her name.
Pearlie Golden.
Michelle Cousseau.
Say her name.
Michelle
Cousseau.
Say her name.
Michelle Cousseau.
Janiqua Proctor.
Say her name.
Janiqua Proctor.
Say her name.
Janiqua Proctor.
Aura Rosser.
Say her name.
Aura Rosser.
Say her name.
Aura Rosser.
Tanisha Anderson.
Say her name.
Tanisha Anderson.
Say her name.
Tanisha Anderson.
Natasha McKenna.
Say her name.
Natasha
McKenna.
McKenna.
Say her name.
Natasha McKenna.
Anderson.
Janisha Fonville.
Say her name.
Janisha Fonville.
Janisha Fonville.
Janisha Fonville.
Nisha Fonville.
Monique Deckard.
Say her name.
Monique
Deckard.
Say her name.
Monique
Deckard.
Megan Hockaday.
Say her name.
Megan Hockaday.
Say her name.
Megan Hockaday.
Maya Hall.
Say her name.
Maya Hall.
Say her name.
Maya Hall.
Alexia Christian.
Say her name.
Alexia
Christian.
Say her name.
Alexia Christian.
Nuna LaRoche.
Say her name.
Nuna
Say her name.
LaRoche.
Sandra Bland.
Say her name.
Sandra Bland.
Say her name.
Sandra Bland.
Kendra Chapman.
Say her name.
Kendra Chapman.
Say her name.
Kendra Chapman.
Joyce Cornell.
Say her name.
Joyce Cornell.
Say her name.
Joyce Cornell. Rakina Jones.
Say her name.
Rakina Jones.
Her name.
Rakina Jones.
Raynette Turner.
Say her name.
Raynette Turner.
Say her name.
Raynette
Turner.
Raydell Jones.
Say her name.
Raydell
Jones.
India Kager.
India Kager.
Say her name.
India Kager.
Say her name.
India
Kager.
Marquisha McMillan.
Say her name.
Marquisha McMillan.
Say that name.
Marquisha
McMillan.
Betty Jones.
Say her name.
Betty Jones.
Say her name.
Betty Jones.
Gina McMillan.
Say her name.
Gina McMillan.
Say her name.
Gina McMillan.
Janet Wilson.
Say her name.
Janet
Wilson.
Say her name.
Janet Wilson.
Keisha Michael.
Say her name.
Keisha Michael.
Say her name.
Keisha Michael.
Shayla Ridgway.
Say her name.
Shayla Ridgway.
Say her name.
Shayla Ridgway.
India Beatty.
Say her name.
India
Beatty.
Say her name.
India Beatty.
LaRonda Sweat.
Say her name.
LaRonda Sweat.
Say her name.
LaRonda Sweat.
Keisha Arone.
Say her name.
Keisha
Arone.
Say her name.
Arone.
Simone Marshall.
Say her name.
Simone Marshall.
Say her name.
Simone Marshall.
Derisha Armstrong.
Say her name.
Derisha Armstrong.
Alicia Armstrong.
Jessica Williams.
Say her name.
Jessica
Williams.
Say her name.
Williams.
Jessica
Williams.
Corinne Gaines.
Say her name.
Corinne
Gaines.
Her name.
Corinne Gaines.
Deborah Danner.
Say her name.
Deborah Danner.
Say her name.
Deborah Danner.
Michelle Shirley.
Say her name.
Michelle
Shirley.
Say her name.
Michelle
Shirley.
Michelle Shirley.
Morgan London Rankins.
Say her name.
Morgan
London Rankins.
Say her name.
Morgan Rankins.
Alteria Woods.
Say her name.
Alteria Woods.
Say her name.
Alteria Woods. Robin White.
Say her name.
Robin White.
Say her name.
Robin White. Johnny Block.
Say her name.
Johnny
Block.
Say her name.
Johnny Block. Charlena Lyles.
Say her name.
Charlena Lyles.
India N. Nelson.
Say her name.
India Nelson.
Say her name.
India
N. Nelson. Kiwi Herring.
Say her name.
Kiwi Herring.
Say her name.
Herring.
Sandy Guardiola.
Say her name.
Sandy
Guardiola.
Say her name.
Sandy Guardiola.
Arian Hythen.
Say her name.
Marianne.
Arian
Say her name.
Geraldine Townsend.
Say her name.
Geraldine Townsend.
Say her name.
Geraldine
Townsend.
Crystalline Barnes.
Say her name.
Crystalline Barnes. Crystalline Barnes.
Cynthia Clements.
Say her name.
Cynthia Clements.
Say her name.
Cynthia
Clements. Shukri Ali Saeed.
Say her name.
Ali
Say her name.
Ali
Saeed.
Lashanda Anderson.
Say her name.
Anderson.
Say her name.
Anderson.
Cynthia Fields.
Say her name.
Cynthia
Fields.
Arisha Blackwell.
Say her name.
Blackwell.
Blackwell.
Awana Phillips.
Say her name.
Awana
Say her name.
Tamika Lachey Simpson.
Say her name.
Tamika
Simpson.
April Webster.
April Webster.
April Webster.
Angel Viola.
Say her name.
Angel Viola.
Angel Viola.
Brittany Danielle McLean.
Say her name.
Brittany
Danielle.
McLean.
Danielle McLean.
Her name.
Letitia, Natasha, Nicole Walton.
Say her name.
Nicole Walton.
Say her name.
Natasha Nicole Walton. Walton.
Nina Adams.
Say her name.
Nina Adams. Adams.
Say her name.
Pamela Shante Turner.
Say her name.
Pamela
Shante.
Say her name.
Crystal Radlin.
Say her name.
Danielle Ragland.
Say her name.
Crystal Danielle Ragland.
Say her name.
Polanco.
Say her name.
Polanco.
Tatiana Jefferson.
Say her name.
Tatiana Jefferson.
Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Yana Taylor.
Brianna Taylor. Brianna Taylor.
Now, together, as the video plays, we will say as many of these names as we can together. We want to build a wall.
Sing a
Anna Taylor.
Diana
Tatiana
Taylor.
Until Davis.
Jefferson.
Until Davis.
Taylor. Tatiana Jefferson.
Shelly Frye. Melissa.
Thank you so, so much to everybody for that powerful saying of all of the names. Now, as we hold up, now please hold up the signs with the name of a woman we've lost. As we hold up these names, let us take a minute of silence and reflection, remembrance, and restoration. Thank you all for your presence, for your energy, for your intention. And I will now turn it back over to Gina.
Gina, we're turning it over to you for a message from the mothers.
Okay, which Gina, me or Lauren?
Gina.
I'm sorry, I was just caught up in that because saying the names of the beautiful women, there were so many names. And so we thank you for sharing sacred space with us this evening. We thank you for joining, each and every last one of you, for joining in and lifting up the names of our beautiful queens, our loved ones whose lives were snatched from them. We thank you for remembering that they too had a right to be here. We thank you for joining our family. We thank you that tonight won't be the last night, that you will continue to say their names. We thank you that the love that's in your heart, you will with intent share it with someone else, with purposeful authenticity, and that when you say our daughters' names and you say the names of your loved ones in your life, that you also say your name in conjunction with theirs. And we thank you that you will not forget that every last one of our daughters shared this space with us tonight, that their spirits did join us, and that they're with us always, and that we will continue to fight because there's so much work yet to be done. But we've done a lot. We will never stop. We will never stop saying their names. Love hard, you all. Love genuinely, you all. Love knowing that, believing in your heart that every ounce of love that you send forth in the universe, that you release, will boomerang right back to you, that is reciprocal. In spite of what you see, in spite of what you feel, just know that our love is with you as well. Thank you. And Ashe.
Thank you so much, Gina. Thank you so much for sharing your words and sharing India's story. And I'm gonna send it back to you, Kim.
Thank you, Owoye. Thank you to Gina, Fran, Maria, Sharon, Rhonda for leading us through this evening of remembrance and rededication. Even though we're holding this in a digital space, we felt it was important to honor the traditions and the rituals that made the Mothers Network a place for healing and reflection over these past 3 years. We know that there's power when we channel our ancestors through ritual. There's power when we come together to honor what's been lost. And there's power when we all say her name. So it is the mothers and the sisters who've instructed us at the Policy Forum through the years about how we can lift up their daughters, how we can help them to feel held and cared for. And we hope that even across this distance, all of you mothers and sisters can feel the love that we have for you. And we hope that you know, no matter how lonely this journey can be, that you are not alone. And we hope that you can see a community of people who are fighting to make sure your daughters and your sisters and your loved ones are remembered. Rituals matter. Moments like these matter. Your lives and the lives of your daughter matter. And thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Thank you for honoring the lives that should have been. Let us move forward with love, with purpose, and in the pursuit of true freedom. And lastly, and certainly not least, I turn it over to our artist in residence, Abby Dobson.
Thank you, Kim. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the joy that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you see and agree that everyone should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I should do. Though I'm way overdue, I'll be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly so to the sun and look down at the sea. And I sing 'cause I know I'd 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 sing 'cause I know how it feels to be free, how it feels to be free, how it feels to be free.
Thank you and good night.